Okay, Jillian asked for Crawford Tillinghast, however you say it. I say Tillinghast. She says Tillinghast. Um, he's really cute. Okay, I don't want this to delve into just me being weird and gushy about him because I want to actually talk. But it might not because I did just stare at that picture of his butt for the past, 15 minutes, just examining it from all angles. Because look at that butt. Are you kidding me? That's not a real butt. There's no way. Okay. Okay, so Crawford. Crawford was the second Jeffrey Combs role I ever saw, because I watched Reanimator, then I watched From Beyond, then I watched the rest of the Reanimator movies. So, he was my second exposure. That movie's really, really short, From Beyond, or at least it seems that way to me, and I feel like a lot of the characters just kind of react to things and there's no backstory, so you don't know a lot about the characters when you go into it. It's just automatically, boom, there's horrible aliens, they're being attacked, this stuff's happening, their brains are changing, blah, blah, blah. And, another funny thing. Okay. That movie scares my dad more than most movies he's ever seen. So I like to mess around with the whole pineal gland thing around him because it freaks him out. But Crawford, I know a lot of fanfics and stuff portray him as sort of a innocent little quiet, easygoing, sweet person, and that's perfectly viable. But in the film itself, he strikes me a lot more as like a sassy guy. I mean, just see how he treats Catherine at first is kind of like, ooh, burn Crawford out. When she reacts like she doesn't believe him, and I think one of the most interesting things about the character is that his motivation is to stop this from happening. Not so much, because it starts out that he wants to explore it, and he's amazed by it, and obviously this is what he wanted to do. This is why he was working with Pretorius, my cat's here, is to, effectively, breach other dimensions and see things beyond human senses, and, but once he sees how dangerous it is, what he wants to do is save people from it, and I find that really admirable, even if it is a little strange. I feel like if Herbert was in the same situation, he'd be like, nah, I gotta turn that thing back on, see if it works again. But Crawford is definitely more cautionary, and I don't love him as much as I love Herbert as a character. I kind of interactively compare the two a lot. I just do that on instinct because I watch them so similar within each other, because they're both by Lovecraft, because they're both played by Jeffrey. Lots of reasons, including reading that fanfic by Fangirl Explosion, which is really amazing, where they're long lost brothers. The thing is that he doesn't have much of a character. There's not a lot to that storyline other than the action, and the BDSM side plot. But Jillian, I don't know why, sometimes I just automatically call her Lovecraft, which is kind of weird. I don't wonder if people do that to me, like, oh yeah, don't let the Halo fool you, was talking to me today. Anyway, Jillian really has helped me care more about the character of Crawford because of her roleplay account. I hope you can't hear my sister yelling at the cat. That was just, she's yelling nicely. Because of her roleplay account and her headcanons and really interesting extension on the character, which I feel like I may have added to some people's view of Dan Kane through my roleplay, and I feel like she's done very similar with Crawford, and I'm very grateful for that, because Crawford can be obviously a really interesting character, and there's a lot to him, and he strives for new knowledge, and he's people think he's insane, and he's a cute little sweater wearing baby, and he's tiny, and he's cute and fluffy haired. And one of my favorite things about the Jeffrey Combs portrayal specifically is that if you compare him to Herbert, they look different. which is almost true of every Jeff character, is he's very good at the physicality of characters, is that he gives them a new, body movement, a new facial structure. But Crawford's got, really dark, like chocolatey eyes, and the little stubble, and he looks paler, and his eyes are darker, like he hasn't slept because of the horrors that he's seen, and his hair's in disarray, and eventually is completely gone because it gets eaten by monsters from another dimension, which is kind of weird. I always thought that was kind of weird, was that they ate his hair, like just his hair, like even his eyebrow hair. All his hair's gone from his head. like his skin's not really, I mean, he gets some lesions on it later, but like his skin's not really bothered. It's like take his wig off or something, I don't know. It's funny. It's like interdimensional hairdressers. Anyway, and he's sort of shrunk down a little bit, like he's very in himself, like introverted, turned in, doesn't want to take up a lot of space, compared to, say, Herbert, who's very, in your face, I'm here, I'm, I may be small, but I can still take you, sort of a thing, at least intellectually. He holds himself like he knows, where he's going, what he's doing, and Crawford kind of holds himself like he doesn't want to be noticed, or like he doesn't mind not being noticed, like he'd rather just go, read a book in a corner, or go study some theories on, interdimensional travel or something, rather than confront people or talk to people about his theories and stuff. And it's kind of interesting to look at his different ways of talking to each character in the actual movie, is like his interactions with Catherine McMichael's change from her being very you can almost tell that he doesn't really like her, and part of it's definitely because she thinks he's schizophrenic and he wants somebody who believes him. But even when she believes him, he's kind of not 100%, like, I don't know what I'm trying to say. But another thing is that his interaction with Bubba is differently. What am I talking about? This is going on for too long. Not making any sense anymore. Anyway, he's just a very adorable little smart little muffin of a dude, and he's clearly got, his own, he's clearly got his own sass, his own, way of dealing with problems, and his own, almost turned it on himself sort of introversion, which is really adorable. And I think I appreciate him more because of Jillian, and because of comparing him with Herbert, because they're so different, and yet so similar in looks, and just Jeffrey being an amazing actor. So I think that's what I want to say about that. It's almost 8 minutes. I think that's long enough.